You know, every single year, the Economist magazine puts out this cover for the year ahead. And honestly, it's more like a puzzle box than a magazine cover. It's always packed with these cryptic symbols, and it sends people all over the world into a frenzy trying to figure out what it all means. So let's do just that. Let's get into their latest one and try to decode the story they're telling us for 2026.
And just to give you an idea of why people take this stuff so seriously, you only have to look back at the previous year. The 2025 cover had this big symbol for the planet Saturn on it. Now, the analysis we're looking at today points out that just a few months later, Elon Musk launched his Grok AI. And what was the logo?
Yep.
A symbol that was almost a dead ringer for the one on the cover. Coincidence? Maybe. But that's the kind of thing that makes you go, okay, what's going on here?
So with that in mind, we have to ask ourselves, what exactly are we looking at for 2026? This isn't just some random collage of pictures. It looks like a carefully constructed narrative. Our job here is to break down this visual code, symbol by symbol, and see what kind of message it might hold for all of us.
So where do we even start with something this packed? Well, you've got to look right where they want you to look, the very center of the image. This seems to be where the main story begins, and funny enough, it starts with what looks like a party. Right near the middle, there's a birthday cake, balloons, and this big, bold number, 250. Now on the surface, that seems simple enough, right? But, come on, with this cover, nothing is ever that simple. There's almost always a double meaning.
So, 2026 is, of course, the 250th anniversary of America's founding in 1776. That makes sense. But here's the twist. The analysis we're digging into points out something else that happened in 1776. The historic organization known as the Illuminati was also founded that very same year. So, whose birthday are we really celebrating here?
Now, look even closer, past the cake to the dead center of the whole thing. This is probably the most alarming symbol on the entire cover. It's a financial chart, and it is absolutely tanking in bright red. And just in case you missed the point, they've got two swords crossing over it, a universal sign for war, for conflict. This isn't just a market dip they're talking about. This feels like a signal for a deliberately created crisis, economic warfare.
And if you zoom in on that graph, you'll see two little coins. One's upright, head side up, suggesting stability, value. But the other one? It's flipped over, face down. Total collapse. The theory here is that this could be pointing straight at a crisis in crypto, maybe even a huge stablecoin, something that's supposed to be stable, just completely failing.
Okay, so let's pull back from that central crisis for a second. When you look at the symbols around it, you start to see a bigger picture, a theme of system-wide failure, and some very specific political players. It's not just one event, it's like a controlled chaos.
And they lay out this story using these four really powerful symbols, all clustered together. You've got the Statue of Liberty, but she's in handcuffs. That screams loss of freedom, right? Then a ballot box is knocked over. Your faith in democracy? Gone. The scales of justice are literally cracked, a broken legal system. And finally, the dollar symbol itself is shattered. That's a direct attack on the currency.
Then you've got the world leaders, people like Trump, Putin, Netanyahu, and they're all painted in this weird mix of red and blue. Now, the analysis we're following says this is totally deliberate. It's a visual code for this idea of dualism. It's suggesting that all the conflict we see, Republican versus Democrat, East versus West, it's all just a show, a kind of theater where both sides are secretly playing for the same team.
And that theme of conflict just keeps going. Check out this massive container ship. Normally, it's a symbol of global trade, right? Well, this one is firing cannons. And look where they're aimed. Straight at the American birthday cake. I mean, you can't get much clearer than that. This is about trade wars designed to hurt the U.S. economy, period.
So okay, if you're engineering a crisis and you're weakening all these institutions, how do you keep the public from freaking out? Well, the next set of symbols seems to answer that question. It's all about the tools of mass distraction and social control.
This one is pretty wild. You have a human brain literally hardwired into a video game controller. The message here seems to be about using super immersive entertainment, gaming, AI, all that stuff, not just to keep us busy, but to keep us passive, to direct our attention away from what's really happening.
And then, if you just let your eyes scan the whole image, you start seeing them everywhere. Pills, syringes, medication just scattered all over the place. The interpretation here is that this is another major tool for managing people. Everything from antidepressants to those trendy new weight loss drugs, it's pointing to a society that's kept calm, kept docile through pharmaceuticals.
And of course, you've got the oldest trick in the book, bread and circuses. That soccer player you see? That's a direct shout out to the 2026 World Cup, happening right here in North America. Big global sporting events, they're being shown here as the ultimate distraction, a way to get everyone waving flags while the real game is being played somewhere else.
Okay, let's pull all these threads together. We've got an economic crisis, we've got crumbling institutions, controlled political drama, and then a whole toolbox of mass distractions. So what's the big picture here? What is this cover really trying to tell us?
And this is where we get to the heart of the analysis. The source we're looking at claims this cover isn't a prediction, it's not a warning. They call it a spell, a declaration of what the people behind it want to happen. It's not a forecast, it's a statement of intent.
So what is this alleged master plan? It really boils down to 4 steps. Step 1, you engineer a huge crisis, probably financial. Step 2, you use that crisis to break down national institutions, things like democracy and the justice system. Step 3, you solve the problem by flooding the world with unlimited, centrally controlled money. And finally, step 4, you keep everybody distracted and managed with entertainment and drugs while you do it.
And that leaves us right here with the big, final question this whole analysis forces us to ask. When you look at something like this, are you just seeing a warning about a possible future? Or are you being shown a blueprint, hidden in plain sight, for a future that's already been planned? And that's something you have to decide for yourself.